being big is more important than being famous. If the Grammy worked the way Nigeria worked, I wouldn't win it. Then I get nominated by Africa. So I'm like, Africa recognized me, but Nigeria did not. The Grammy is my first award. If there's anybody that can get a Grammy nomination now, it will be Ashake.
My name is Jobless. Right? You cannot expect a teacher to teach you what he or she doesn't know. It's what he knows or she knows she will teach you. You get? And that is what you grow up with.
Yeah.
You know? If it's not for, although me, I've known a long time ago, but if it's not for somebody like Daddy Freeze that publicized the fact that Jesus Christ was not even born on December 25th, a whole lot of us think that's the day he was born.
Yeah. I actually, besides just being like producer and all, I'm also a knowledge guy. Like by knowledge guy, I mean if I want to know something, I want to know it, right? So I actually went to find out the history of Christmas, down to even the history of how the days were named. So much to say about those things, yes. But the summary of it in itself is school. There's something I saw. They said school does not test your intelligence; it tests your memory. And that's true, because if you really think about it, we went to school to pass school. In truth, you see someone come out of school does not even know half of the things that he or she learned, except the things they were interested in.
Yeah.
Now, school is also a system. It's a structure, and it teaches you, or it raises you for a purpose, which is what most people don't know. They say go to school, you get better opportunities, but the truth is, go to school. There's a system that exists in that school realm. School is like the corridor.
Yeah.
At the other side, there are these realities, right?
Yeah.
So they teach you based on that, right? And when you get into the real world, like places like Nigeria, where everything works in reverse, when you get to the end of the corridor, you see the side you came from. So it hits you really hard. Like, whoa, this is figuratively for the knowledge that you acquired, then the opportunities they said you get when you leave school. So school here has been that weird construct.
It's
get what I mean?
Weird.
And
the curriculum is zero.
It's true now. I mean, in school, first of all, I used to be called old man.
Okay.
Because I didn't care about a lot of things. I spoke differently. I reasoned differently. I was never what is democracy? Democracy is the government for the people, of the people, and by the people. Democracy is a free government where people are allowed to, like, this is how I would define it.
Yes, people are allowed to express themselves.
Stand up in class. Mm-hmm. So my mindset was already, like, I had a mind of my own, which was not what school wanted it to have. And this is just the reality with a lot of things. Mm-hmm. So when you speak about school, you're very correct. Bro, you have to relearn when you leave itself.
Before I actually concluded that, okay, I'm going to call it original intelligence. Right? As a matter of fact, there was no jobless there.
You added it.
It was just original intelligence. That's what I wanted. And the reason why I wanted it is because I'm trying to create a platform to learn, not to. Fine, you can be entertained, right? But the main goal is there is a lot to learn, especially we from this part of the world. There's so much. As a matter of fact, there's more to unlearn.
The word really is unlearning first, because of the amount of things we actually did learn.
You did learn,
that need to go out the window.
Yeah. So I just felt like, okay, this is. I have another generation coming after me, right? They are being raised the same way I was raised, and I know that if they had the chances I had 10, 15 years ago, right? If they can start having it now, it's going to be helpful to them. Yeah. Right. And the chances is that like I said, is just all about reading, finding out things on your own, going away from that school box and just say, okay, what if I do this? Okay, what does this mean? Then during that process for me was when I now stumbled into history. Right? As a black person, as a Nigerian, then I felt like, oh, I'm so washed. Yeah. Like, I'm so washed. Like, I had to start the unlearning process. Okay. Yeah. No. Okay, look at it. Okay, no, it doesn't make sense. Okay, but this is it doesn't make sense. Then I started throwing things out and started learning it.
It's funny because at the end of the day, I don't know what it was like for other people, but from time immemorial, I have always been a left-wing guy. That's the word I like to describe myself as. I've always been that. Why is it just this road?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
What about that?
Yeah.
Oh, this teacher, this teacher, this person said all these things, and then I pull out a hole or a crack or something that has a question mark, and I'm like, what about that? My mind was wired that way. In fact, my journey through music was that way, because in truth, we here like to form, even if we are very divisive as a people, we like to form small groups, not communities, small groups, and then stay there and follow wherever that leads. Whether you are the leader, you are one of the stakeholders, or you are a follower. So I was never that, because I will enter that space and see,
question everything,
you know, and not it's not even a case of, okay, I just like to be on the other side of the fence. It's mostly obvious stuff. It's like there can't possibly be one way to succeed. It is not possible. Yes, there are standards, knowledge, practice, ethics.
Yeah.
But when you say, Omo, stay with my clique, I give you 5 years. I'm like,
there.
what if that's not the case? And then you can't answer that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to trust what I feel and take a chance with it, which is what that person in front did, succeeded. Now
he's
his chance is a standard. You know, it's a weird thing. So
I swear, you just broke it down the best
exactly.
way. I swear,
it's a real thing that I have seen countless times. I mean, now I'm in this place in my own career where I'm not pressurized anymore. The only pressure I have is the pressure I put on myself. Like, I have aspirations. There are things I want to see. There are bigger goals, but it has never been about a race of, you know, relevance or survival, because I didn't even know a lot of things when I started breaking bounds. For instance, I meet guys and they give me a job to mix and master, for instance. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to give you this song. Let's say you give me on a Monday. I'm like, okay, I've seen the data. It looks put together. I'll give you on Thursday. And they're like, that soon? I'm like, I don't even know what is far. Do you get what I mean? I don't know what is too soon. I just know I've seen it. I know where I'm going. I know what to do. I'll get it to you on time. Now I deliver to them, and then we all talk, laugh, everyone. And then sometimes some go, man, if only the other guys could be like you. I'm like, what are the other guys like? And then they go, oh, maybe that one delayed. Maybe this one was not, you know, communicable. You know, one guy from the US, out of the blue, we're just talking about a job, and he just said, man, you're just easy to talk to. I'm like, I don't know that it's not easy to talk to other people.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like I was flying blind, but it was my path, which is why everybody must find their path. And sometimes your path is servitude. What am I saying? I've worked for people. I've worked with people. I've been staff too. But it was never about looking for the person that would give me the answers. You know, it was always about, okay, how do I learn here? How do I contribute here? And then in time, you see that, okay, this place is for a time. So you are already preparing for the next transition before you even get there. You know, as opposed to finding out at the end that, oh dear, everything has cancelled. I really believe that this was it all. Me, I never had that issue. So I cannot even understand. Sometimes it's difficult to even advise people on it, because I always knew things. You know, I just had an insight, and I give it to God, because sometimes I see it in my mind's eye. Sometimes I would hear it in my head. Sometimes I would envision my future and not see something in it. And I know that, okay, in time.
I think there is, especially when you're a creative person, there's a dimension that runs around us being creatives that many creative people don't even pay attention to. But there's this energy that always talk to you. You know, always talk to you. If for some ways it will come, right? But a lot of us but lately I began to actually pay attention to it.
Right?
To it.
Makes all the difference.
You know, and bro, I can just sit down and I just think about, oh, VTech. Oh, let me check on VTech, right? And I'll pick up my phone. What's up, bro? And VTech will say, can you believe I was just thinking about you? So you can tell that,
there is more to that thought than
yeah,
just a regular thought.
That just
like,
came.
It was like it was a web and your own piece connected. So
and that was why it came. Right? But creatives, we don't pay attention to it. Right?
Yeah.
I cannot count the number of songs that I lost through that process just because I don't pay attention.
Yeah.
Right? Because there are times that I might just sit down and this rhythm will come. And I'll be like, okay. I forgot.
Free it.
I just free it. Right? I'll just free it. But lately, when I started paying attention, then when it comes and I'll put it, I might not be able to do anything with it. I'll just record it, record the rhythm, then put it down. I can just free it. But because I have it saved somewhere, it might be 2-3 months after.
You can go back.
I can just stumble onto it and I just say, okay, play this thing
here.
And I'll be like, are you serious? There's something here. Then I'll start working on it.
Yeah.
I'll be like, do you know how many things I lost?
That way. It's funny because I think that's how would I put it? Most people don't even have good, for lack of a better word, role models. Because the truth is, this thing I'm saying, this thing you're saying, it comes from knowledge, it comes from experience, but it also comes from some degree of vulnerability. Because you chose to hear, so now who is talking to those people who cannot? Right? Who's talking to them?
But I actually think everybody has that power.
Yes, they do.
People just don't know how to tap into it.
Here's the funny thing. I'll use this analogy to describe it. Babies are basically mutants. That's the way to describe them. I mean, this new person can float in water. If they drown, they can be breathless for I think about 7 minutes before any brain damage, whereas a full-grown person starts experiencing brain damage from the first, I think, a minute 30 seconds. Babies know how to swim. I don't know how to swim. Babies hear when they sleep. That's why when a baby is asleep and the parents are arguing, the child starts crying, but the child doesn't wake up. Like, there are senses that God just shoved in there, but as you grew, they became numb. So now, I as an adult, I go back and I'm like, what's so cool about babies? And it's not like now I can swim because I read about babies, but it gave me a new appreciation. It also started a journey in my mind, like, imagine things that are possible within this your own reality that you don't know. If that happens, how about that? So now you start asking the questions. And because I've always done this in almost isolation, I didn't have anyone going, free it. If I wanted to know it, I found out about it, and then okay, I know what that is now, and I move on.
Do you know that till now, I can't question my mom about the creation of human. When I tell her that your belief about creation is wrong, she just look at me like, what's it better? She doesn't even want to listen. Right? Yeah. And I'm trying to let her understand that, see, I think you guys are wrong. I'm not saying it was your fault. It's not your fault. That's what they taught you to. But I think the whole story around Adam and Eve, Garden of Eden, man created man, they chop apple, I think is just not the right story.
Funny.
Right? Because
I wanted to say something about it.
because I was trying to let us see data, their data, right? Real data that shown that human being has been in existence before all this time that you guys are.
Yeah.
Your time stamp is not correct when it comes to human. You get, but they'll be like, so you know more than all of us. You know that mindset of, you know more than all of us, Abby.
Exactly.
Yeah. What we know is what we know. You cannot know more than all of us. And I'll be like, this same thing applies to this older generation, right? When they come out there and start telling us stuff and everybody respects them, and I'll be like, wait, just because he's older or she's older doesn't mean she's right. Yes,
now age is not wisdom.
But they hardly believe they can get it wrong.
Yeah, because they've been told that age is wisdom. It's funny when you talked about creation. I'm a Christian, yes, and I love that journey, right? So I just find out things. For instance, most people don't know that the dinosaurs are in the Bible.
Yes.
It's so funny because again, it all came from a question: why are the dinosaurs not accounted for? Then I checked. Book of Job is right there. They were describing, in fact, God was describing a dinosaur to him So if I felt like, oh, dinosaurs are a construct of the white people, oh, dinosaurs are just a part of existence, the fact is it was there.
They were
Right?
They
It
were
was
real.
a real thing.
Yeah,
They
it was
were
a real
real
thing.
things.
Yeah,
The
real.
bones are not, because I've seen people that said, I've even heard a pastor say that it is a lie perpetrated by the white people. But I'm like, there is scientific fact to prove it. So there has to be a
As
way
matter of
that the
fact,
balance is.
they just saw a real bone like 2 or 3 months ago. I believe it's someone in Canada. Yeah, just found, as in the old structure was there.
It's funny because
It is real.
Funny. Well, I mean, we could talk richly about these things because I mean, case in study, the Noah's flood. You know, a lot of people felt like the Noah's.
That's one. Okay.
The Noah's flood. You know, a lot of people have felt like, oh no, that couldn't have happened. It's just a fairy tale. But here's the thing: I actually did watch an entire documentary. There's physical data that it happened. 2 things I'll highlight. The first is there are places on Earth. You know how when water hits a place, water on the ground forms different layers.
Yeah.
So the layer is darker. This one is brighter. This one is brighter, brighter,
Yeah,
all the way to
before
the
it get
top.
pure, yeah.
They actually went to a place where there was there was data of a huge flood here,
course.
and they show you the stones like, see you,
Of course.
this is proof that something happened
Yeah.
here, and this same thing is in that place, and this
Yeah,
same
so
thing is in
yeah,
that place.
yeah.
But the most obvious evidence of it was mass dinosaur graveyards.
Yes.
Like they died immediately in the same spot, and some of the bone structures had the expression of fear. So they were all running because it wasn't migration season, right?
Yeah.
It probably wasn't migration season. You could tell that. Now this was not velociraptors flying or T-Rexes walking.
Yeah,
We were seeing all of them.
the time, yeah.
Birds, the land ones, and they all had an event that took them out on the same spot at the same time. So now if someone wants to go, oh, Noah flood is not real, I'm like, but there is data proving that something of that scale happened.
There was flood.
You know, so it's not just the Bible said for me now. It's actually, it's fact. You get what I mean? It's scientific fact.
Do you know the point? The point I felt like that story might be bogus, right? I'm not disputing the fact that there was flood and it was crazy and it changed the entire earth, but the fact that somebody was wise enough to keep two each of those animals, right? I just don't think is humanly possible. That's what I think. I just don't, because they said it was God that ordered the lion and the leopards and the crocodiles and you know, and the crazy scorpion that can just sting you and you die immediately, or the black spider. You know, this guy went to look for 2 of them and kept them inside the ark so that after the flood, all of them will be released. Somehow, for me, I just think the story is somehow. But I'm not disputing the fact that the flood happened.
Yes. So,
but I think it was just things that survived.
Here's the thing. You know, I talked about the flood. I didn't even talk about Noah. The
ark.
interesting thing with Noah and the ark is knowing my experience working with just God's guidance. I see how ridiculous it can be and possible it can be at the same time. Now, clearly, the earth was repopulated after the flood. It was not all Noah's children. So, perhaps God did do that, but he's God. He can decide to keep one parchment with butterflies. He can decide to keep one whole continent free. So now these guys went somewhere and repopulated the earth. So clearly, it's the same way with Adam, Eve. You know, they had Cain and Abel.
Yeah.
Cain went away.
Yeah.
And in fact, when
came back with a wife.
Do you understand? When Cain had them, when God told him to get out, he was like, "If they see me, they will kill me." That's the word he used. He said, "If they see me, they will harm me." Who is they? So
there are people somewhere.
Do you understand? And these are not things that were expressly highlighted in the Bible. So it just opens your mind to what's possible.
The crazy thing is, I don't know about you, but for me, right? I grew up with my book of Bible stories.
Yeah.
It gets, and that book, is like your favorite go-to book.
Yeah.
So you read many of these stories, and those stories are part of what shaped me as a man.
Yeah.
Because you can learn a whole lot of morals,
From it.
good behavior, what you get, to the point that when somebody slaps you, you can always turn the left cheek and let them slap again,
Yeah.
But bro, if I talk to my son now, I make him understand. Right, see, when someone slaps you, right, slap yours back. Never turn your left cheek.
Yeah.
If you know it's somebody that is going to beat you up, then you can walk away and call the right authority to handle it. But if somebody you can handle one-on-one, go into fight.
Here's the trick. I think people don't really know when figure of speech applies. Because in truth...
It was figure of speech, right?
Exactly. Because, it's not everybody that did you something bad that you did something against. You get what I mean? Sometimes you let it go. Sometimes you forgive. Sometimes you were mad, but you stepped back. That is the left cheek, in my opinion. Because in truth, we've not been walking through life just collecting slaps, right? So, but there are different types of slaps in life.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
As a matter of fact, yeah. So when I'm talking to anyone, I'm telling them turn your second cheek, right? I'm not referring to the physical.
Yeah, because if you
it's
slap me hard enough on the right cheek,
because
I wouldn't want to collect.
Yeah, bro, because there's so many ways we get slapped in life.
Exactly.
So many ways. It doesn't have to be physical. But if you keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result, then I think you're being stupid.
Yeah.
As a man, So when something happens to you, learn from it. Make sure it doesn't. This thing is bad for you. Don't make sure it doesn't happen again, right?
Of course, now.
But your normal pastor, right? If he tell you, sùúrù ní gbogbo nǹkan tó máa gbé etí even Jésù gan sọ pé.
It's weird. This is just an interesting conversation because it's funny. Again, this is knowledge outside the four walls of an institution. Same Bible that Jesus said, turn the left cheek. He said, you go to their door and you preach, and if they reject you, you take your shoe, and walk away. He's the same one that said, love your enemies, pray for those who persecute you. But he also said, be at peace, because I will take care of the fighting for you. So he's saying, be at peace. Now, if we slap each other, odds are we are not creating peace, right? So sometimes it's a how do I call it? It's like a walk away, let me deal with them for you type of thing. So he's the same guy that said turn the other cheek. He now later on said all these other things like, yo, don't get it twisted. I'm not asking you to just go around receiving slaps. This is not about slaps. It's about be at peace. Let the fighting stop with you if possible. Let it end with you. Your goal must always be resolution or freedom or just peace. I don't have to be your friend, but I don't have to be your enemy either.
Yeah.
And what I've realized is a lot of times when you are attacked, when you are accosted aggressively in any way, verbally, professionally, maybe even physically, sometimes the biggest blow you can give to that person is showing them that you have a higher understanding than they do. For instance, if I could punch you back, but it has to be that I absolutely need to. It's clear in my mind that this is what I need to do. Yeah. But most times when the person is rude to me, I just say, okay, fine. You satisfied yourself, great. Don't worry, time will show up. Now, a little while later, that person sees me and they're like, man. And this has happened a lot of times, man. And like that day, I just went home thinking about it and I kept thinking, I'm like, I did not even do a thing to you. So in that situation, I practiced peace because I knew, okay, I can go at this person. I would most likely win. But at that moment, again, that voice that talks, that sense that drops in you, it will tell you what to do. For instance, a soldier can't go into the battlefield and put his gun down and say, hey, Afghanistan or Pakistan, wherever that place may be, yo, man, I love you, stop fighting. Boom. 5 soldiers die, and then they go, nope, I'm not going to respond though. Basically, they are turning left cheek now. Yeah. Nobody does that. It means, yes. You get me? Nobody does that. It's part time because he that said it actually give you several illustrations. Here, if then they disturb you, remove leg, carry your shoe, move, dust them, go. Don't even leave that place with the dust of them. And here, okay, see you have to just at the end of the day, what you are doing is more passive than active. Praying for them, loving them. Loving is not liking. So I can love you but not like you. You get what I mean? My thoughts for you are good, but my actions towards you might be, hey, I'm not safe around you, I'm not comfortable around you. But when I think of you, I'm not thinking, man, I can't wait for them to behead him. So it's a dynamic thing. It's not as simple as when they slap you here, turn here.
Yeah.
It's like if scammer collects money from your bank account, then you collect the scammer's number and say you did not finish the money now. There's another one in one other account that you didn't see. Oh, yeah, carry that one. Is that not left cheek? That's left cheek down.
Yeah, that is it. Exactly.
So, I'm with you on the if they slap you, sometimes you gotta give it right back.
You gotta give it back, bro. You gotta give it back, because if you don't, they will continue.
They'll just know that this is the slap ATM. When it's time to collect, let's go there.
Just continue slapping. How does it feel? Like you're somebody that your face is never out there.
Yeah.
Right? And you have this crazy impact in the industry and nobody knows you. How have you been able to live like that?
Well, I must say that it wasn't for lack of trying.
Wait. Before you answer, this is one of the guys that has Grammy nominations in Nigeria. Did you win?
Yes. And
he actually has a Grammy.
Actually, two
Grammys. VTech.
Yep.
2 Grammys. And nobody sees the news. You just don't make noise. You don't.
Yeah.
So practically, I would say is you, Burna.
There's a few people actually. There's me, Burna. I mean, Rexy got twice on Burna's account because
on Burna's account, yeah.
Yeah. There's this engineer called Spirit Mix. He worked on
Spirit,
one of the projects. So,
yeah.
Somehow, when the artist wins, especially
it
for
goes,
album,
it
it touches
stretch,
other people, But
as a matter of fact, this is the guy that mixed Buga.
Yep.
Buga. So you know that I'm with a big fish.
Well, I mean,
but how have you been able to just keep a low profile and still make things happen?
Okay, so because I'm naturally left wing, I've always operated from that place of I don't have all the answers, but I give off myself. I serve what I believe in. So I guess it has a way of opening doors for a person. It's so funny because years ago I worked with Psquare. That's 2014. That last Psquare album was me, predominantly, including the Shekini one, of which that year was my second nomination on Afrima. Producer of the year. That one was not my nomination, right? Or let me say my first.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I look at my present now and see how almost inconsequential working with them is to the now, because the journey formed itself so that when this was no more needed, go. So now I can almost break my journey into eras and say at this time this was what mattered. And for the last couple of years, it has just been me and a handful of people. By a handful of people, my loved ones, the ones that support me here and also in the business, and then maybe 1 or 2 professionals that I work with too. So I mean, the ultimately got to a point where the work started speaking
for itself. Yeah.
And then the work spoke so much, the person started speaking. So there's VTech in the room. Oh, he's the one. There's no more. Okay, VTech, Yemi Alade's producer. It's VTech.
It's VTech, yeah.
Do you understand? So now I'm just at the point where when I look back, I see so many events. Now, it's not because I didn't try to be seen, but there was a conflict in my heart because as much as I can handle it, I am also a deep type of person. We had this convo before.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of things that I'm processing. You can see me looking all straight faced, thinking this guy is thinking of where we get money. And I'm just thinking, why are dinosaurs not here now? So that broadness of mind, it causes me to be like, I'll be back for you guys. I want to find out why Jesus was white. Do you get what I mean? So it's like, it's not just about music, hammer. So the only time I gave 100% to the craft was the craft itself, not the guys know who I am, so that I can no longer walk on the road. Area boys be taxing me, girls will not like me more because they feel like, oh man. But the crazy part is, time has shown that being big is more important than being famous, because when I walk into rooms now and I go, I'm VTech, I walk in like, hey, hi, I'm VTech, I'm a producer, and they're like, VTech the awesome. So now they complete the name. I'm like, yes. They're like, wow, are you serious? Are you really? And I'm like, yeah. Do you get me?
Yeah, I'm sure you get that a lot.
Oh,
like,
a lot.
Are you really the one?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I've met people that, I'm talking to them, and maybe I go to a store, for instance, and then I get in the convo with someone, and they're like, okay. I'm like, hey, you can follow me on the gram. And then they follow me on the gram.
Yeah.
Then the next time they DM me, they're like, greetings, king. Or greetings, boss. That transformation from, oh, this is a cool dude, to Jesus Christ, this dude is really the ish.
Yeah.
It's now my own sweetness. You get what I mean? Because it's as opposed to trying to assert myself on you, you might have even underestimated what I was about or who I was.
Yeah.
And then you find out that this dude could actually be stunting, but he's not.
Yeah.
Because fundamentally,
you have everything.
Exactly.
You need to stunt.
Exactly. And now I'm taking the more serious approach to getting out there, publicity and whatnot. Because unfortunately, part of the reason why most people don't just know you, and I say this with all disrespect, the media is very, very Bible. This is the truth. A lot of people don't like to hear it, but it's the truth. So I am doing all this work. But you don't see me on music videos with Olamide. You don't see me in the nightclubs with Yemi Alade. You don't see me playing tennis with Kizz Daniels. So now it's like, okay, it's the people I see around them that I give a whoosh about. Now, on top of that, one guy does one song with them and goes, Omo, you people must know me. There are things that you do that get you in the room. For instance, something happened, and I heard that on Independence Day, most media outlets would not be able to promote anything other than election-based things, because according to what I heard, most of the politicians have paid for slots. Yeah. You see how it's imbalanced. I walk into some rooms, I've been on some radio interviews, and they're like, wow, we didn't know who you were. I'm like, you are the presenter. Your job is to know. But y'all are not as interested in research anymore, because it doesn't really matter, man. This guy just came, gave me a big bag. Okay, let's talk about him. Okay, no, I like him. He gave us a big bag. Okay, maybe there's something there. You've completely forgotten that there are people that are just working. How will I put this? Lil Wayne, at the time, had 2 engineers he always mixed and mastered with. It didn't matter where he recorded. He will send it to them. They will process it, send it right back. Yeah. These guys are not celebrities. They are not on the red carpet. Yeah. They are not the one insulting each other on Instagram. But these guys, when you go and check, you see that these are very powerful, comfortable people. And they are known. So now, fast forward to the Grammy. If the Grammy worked the way Nigeria worked, I wouldn't win it. Not because I don't work. You get what I mean? Yes, it's the truth. I wouldn't win it.
I say you couldn't have said it any better.
Exactly, because it will still come down to who we know, which is distorted. Because you are on your radio show, you play Buga, you play. Then Wizkid had this song called Bami. It was actually DJ Tunes featuring Wizkid, Omale, Adekunle Gold. That was the first time I worked with Wizkid.
Oh, Mami, Abi.
That was my mix.
Oh, that was you?
Yeah.
Oh,
the only album I did not really work with Kunle Gold on was his very first and this last one. Every album in between has been maybe 90 to 100% me. Do you get what I mean?
Bro.
So when they say they don't know you, it still comes down to what exactly are you looking at, because you are on air playing. There was a time I sat in a cab and they were playing top songs, and 3 of the songs they played were my production. Then the one after that was my mix. So I'm like, do I need to come with a placard into your office to tell you that I'm here?
I was about to say that, and I think a whole lot of producers do that,
Yeah.
because when you like Sass now,
Yeah.
right, when you hear Sass now from the beginning of the song, you must have seen the trademark.
Yeah.
Really, there's or Sass on the beat.
Yeah.
But I don't think you do that on most of your songs.
Okay, so now the thing with the mixes is where I don't do it a lot, but I do it now
in production.
I do it in production, but at the time I stopped producing a lot. That's also probably why it looked that way, because I wasn't producing a lot. I was mixing for everybody.
Yes.
So the tag thing was not really like priority. In fact, I've had arguments with like Kunle. No, actually Kunle I didn't have an argument with. It was Simi I argued with, because I put my tag and she was like, remove it. I'm like, that's the thing. You're an artist that records. You don't know my reality. Do you get? To you, it's not a big deal. You make the song somehow. For me, that's literally. So nobody sees those arguments. Nobody sees same thing with Bami. They were like, oh no, don't worry, we'll do the publicity, but maybe you should take out the tag. Now I'm a professional.
Why do some artists want that? Why do they?
In truth, tags here again is, in fact, let me go back to where the tag thing is a hip hop thing. Do you get what I mean? You listen to an Adele record, you don't hear a tag, right? You listen to Ed Sheeran, you don't hear a tag. But if you listen to trap music, you hear a tag. When you listen to R. Kelly, you don't hear a tag. So that tag thing fundamentally is a hip hop thing, it's a DJ thing, is a mix it in.
You mean it's a rap thing?
So now I think actually more a rap thing. But you see, we here now made it like, it's like by doing it, we made people less intelligent. That's the word. So now they don't ask who did that. They are listening for who did it, because he will shout it somewhere. So that's why I said it made people less intelligent. Because
so for someone like me, right? I did a whole lot of sessions with ID Kabasa. I mean, Kabasa is actually part of the people that raised me.
Yeah.
Because I started working with him when I was very young, like 17 or so. Right. That was when I started working with him. So, and most times when Kabasa produces you, he doesn't put any tag on it. It's me that will shout his name on the song.
Exactly.
You get? It's me or nice we shout ID Kabasa, Yeah. But I've noticed that these days artists don't want to give that trademark right to the producer, right? Or the mixer. I've seen situations like that you just listen to the whole song, and even if it's a rap song, you won't just know who produced or who mixed. They won't put it.
Yeah.
Right. And even if the producer or the mixer does, they will tell the person to remove it. So I really don't know what the logic behind it is.
So here's the thing. In the business, that's why I said something, and I'm re-highlighting it. The way we do things with a lot of things made people actually more unintelligent. I use the word unintelligent because when I hear, there's a chick called Michelle Araiko, I think, Araika, or also known as Miss Lago. That's the lady that I was mixing for Timbaland for years. Probably still does, I don't know. Her name is Michelle, I think, or Marcella Araiko, one name like that. Wow. She's do you know how I found out? I was like, man, Timbo's stuff are complex, but they're so clean. They are weighty, but they are bright. And then I went to find out. But today, guy here is gonna hear that stuff and be like, oh man, this jam and fire. And then maybe he hears, SARS. His brain just goes, oh man, SARS. But back then you could go, who do this thing? Nelson Brown. Early days, Chris Okoro. Chris Okoro was one of the first major engineers back in the day. I met him. Chris Okoro didn't have tags on his records, but he was the biggest at the time. Even Zeno Foster was not putting tags, because then people actually went to check. But the guys that, and I'll say it this way, is the rap influence that now became the standard. So now, when an artist tells me I don't want your tag, in my head I'm like, I mixed the entire Kizz Daniel EP. I cannot tell you the amount of like brand value it brought to me, because I am a brand, but when I work with people, I profit from it as well.
Yeah.
Business wise, it's like people actually had to go and find out who this dude, do no mention in name was.
Throughout.
And till this day, I still see the benefits of it. Now my wife described it the way she said, I didn't used to put my tag. That by not doing that, it has now made me exclusive, because you see, artists I mix for now, and I don't know what is different with now. They go VTech, you know, put your tag. No, say, I mean, you know, like the jam. So now I go back and put it. So now what I was doing, because I was like, whatever, there you go, I collect my dough, okay, I go to the next. Now it has become this dude really didn't need to do this thing to get this far. It's funny, because if you want to talk about tag on the song that won the Grammy, or rather the album that won the Grammy, the song I produced for Angélique Kidjo, my tag is on it. But you see, because I'm not a tag guy, my tag is not even part of the music. So it's not like, yo Rexy fun. It's like, it's almost like it's part of the music, right? Mine is just there.
The last song did Zeno mixed for me. Towards the end of the song, you said mixing by Zeno.
You understand? His own is like,
I was like, Baba, this one I read. Now you even sing the song.
And you know the weirdest part is it started to seep into other people. For instance, Fioki is on the record. Oh my God, Fioki. Yeah, I'm like, hey, I understand it, but imagine a track where Blaze, Willis, and let's say Rexy produced, then Fioki played the guitar, then Spirit mixed it. This is 5 people. All of them have tags. Imagine how that would be. You get me? So there is no, it has gotten to, I like to call it a village level. It's not even about the, okay, let us do it for the, okay, it doesn't really matter like that, because I mean, the guy in the US, the guy in the UK, the guy in blah 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 is going to go and check, okay, who did this, who did that. In fact, I'm more interested in the artist putting my name in their press release.
Yeah,
because everywhere I've been in the world, when I talk to them about me, they Google me first, then they Instagram me,
pop up. Yeah.
So I'm like, this is bigger than just my people, you know, doing what makes them feel like I'm serious. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, when they go, you don't put your tag. Then they go, okay, what have you done? Then I give them the rollout, and they're like, wow, maybe this guy actually knows something that the other guys don't, which is not true. Or maybe true.
That could be true.
You know, but
it sounds like it's true.
But at the end of the day, it's also because, like I told you from the very beginning, I am a left-wing guy. So I didn't even know that it was a thing to do. I just did what I knew. So by the time I look back and they're like, oh, you know, you'd have put your tag on all those records. I'm like, it's true. Whereas most people are thinking about it from the beginning. Now I do it, and I produce more again. Back then I think I stopped producing officially for like 2.5 years. I would do 1 or 2 jobs, but I was not working the way I used to work during the time of Psquare, when I used to work with the ad agency, you know, that I used to work with. So now I'm back, and now I'm more mature with it. So and I've seen a lot of people do it. It's funny. My original tag used to be awesome. Then everybody was like, VTech, this awesome. Some people, they hear boss. So, you know, why not just put your name VTech the awesome? Then there was sounds on the beat. You know, Suka sounds. Like there were people that were just blatantly calling their name on records.
Yeah.
Now I went to VTech the awesome. Boom. I heard really. So I'm like, so what I did in 2014 was actually what is now doable now. So perhaps I should have just ignored everybody and kept doing that, because that one fit into records. Yeah, it was just smooth. Yeah, you feel me? So it's a journey, and I'm grateful that they are actually not the determining factor of success.
It is a learning process, and we learn every day. You know, the more you. One thing I tell people is that I don't think there's any format when it comes to this entertainment business.
We said it now.
And as far as Nigeria is concerned, Baba, you do the work times 2, and there's still no format. There's nothing. There's no any assurance that it's going to break. Regardless of the money.
Can I say something to buttress this thing you said? And I hope me being too brutal is not off limits.
That's the idea.
Okay, great.
I like brutality.
So now, headies. I've always had a mini prejudice towards the headies. Again, it's because of the way I think. For instance, you say it's a Nigerian award, but clearly it's not. In fact, headies is a Lagos award. Here's why I said so. I've been to Abuja. There are people holding Abuja down. It's not only Olamide, Naira Marley, and whoever is reigning now. So now you are doing an award for Nigeria, but the rest of Nigeria is not represented. Do you feel me? But
I think at some point, Psquare called it a Yoruba award.
Well,
They did.
Because in fairness to them, it's not only Yoruba but now. You get that's why I said the Lagos
But they were
award.
so pained.
You understand? And this is real talk because I'm like, yo, I have guys. Okay, I will talk about this guy Joel Amadi.
Yeah,
Joel Amadi.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys that I wouldn't say he
Dude
was.
is big in Benue.
Exactly.
He's Southwest.
Exactly.
Dude
But
is big.
when they nominate best male artist, they'll be nominating the guy. I mean, Portable could make best male artist because of Zazu, because of one song and all the buzz he made. So now you are not nominating Nigerian guys. You are nominating who you feel like. Yeah, it's almost like
but tech, it has always been that controlled. I don't know, but I don't know if you understand what I mean by the control. There's this level of gatesmen is in every sport when it comes to this industry, right? Ip TV and Eddies is one entity, right? Before you can even get on Ip TV to have a good rotation, you have to go through some gatemen. Right, so they decide, and whoever their customer is, not thinking about what the talent is or how good this person is, but the customer would be recognized first before the talent. You get, and it doesn't stop from there. It's all of them, all the media houses, right? There's always somebody, even on radio. There's always somebody who is like, is between me. Is you, me, then the station, right? That is why you remember that our conversation started from podcast. That was why I said, listen, if you have any opportunity to just go to your DSP, just go to the source directly and put your stuff out is better. Because I know crazy talented dudes, bro. Like this, I know a guy, right, that could spit 16 bars of rap, right? He will do the first verse like Tupac. He will sound exactly like Tupac. He will do the second verse like Biggie. And he will do the third one like Busta Rhymes. And he's a Nigerian. He has never been to Ghana. But when this guy starts flowing for you, you'll be like, bro, how can you? They tell you, I have songs. I've taken it there. They said I should bring money, but I don't have money.
Yeah.
And there are lots of them like that. That you can just listen to and you see there's something here. You might not have money, but there's something there. There's something there. When Wizkid started, it started from somewhere. I'm sure there's a whole lot of people that don't even believe in the sound, you know. But some people saw something there and they started nurturing it, and it became what it is today, right? So there's so many talents like that. They have things to give, but because of what you want to earn, you know, that position that you are with that, bro. Those days when JOI was popping, you know, I did go inside a media executive office to prostrate. All because I need something from you.
Yeah.
Do you get? So at the point when I felt like, okay, maybe I actually don't need this. Then I make some very, very drastic moves and I like it. Right? Yeah. Because I'm not going to kiss your ass because you want to do me a favor. No. Right? It's not worth it. Right? If the talent doesn't speak, if you feel some type of way about my content or about my song, then let me know. Then I can go work on myself. But you now collecting it and telling me, we will roll it, but give us. And I even give you that money.
And you still don't do it.
And you still don't do the job. Baba. People. I still know people today. They go mention something. Say, Baba, anyway, I catch them. These are guys that 10, 15 years ago,
Yeah.
they were paying you to do their job, but you collected their money, you didn't do shit, and they're looking for you now because now they have everything to deal with you.
Yeah.
There are many of them. They have everything to do with you. So you can now imagine the number of talent that got sunk just through that process.
You know, I think that's what it's still back to the tag thing. You know, it's funny how it's a web. All these conversations are not a straight road. It's a path with many, many breakouts. Everything is suffering from the same thing, but in different ways. For instance, when they say, oh, the consumer comes first, there was a time where everything made TV, right? There were lots of stations where a lot of music was playing. There was a time there were a lot of artists. Then Kenny's came, and Kenny's had power. So now Kenny's took the airwave. Now that's where this thing started. I won't say it is nonsense because it's not. But it showed people that instead of looking everywhere, Africa in Vogue, looking at this show, that show, going to radio, okay, let's just look here. We'll get all the greatness we need. And over time, their minds now started to think that, oh, actually, that's how it's supposed to be. But it's not. So now, fast forward to today. You say, oh, media, they cater to the customer. But it's the same media that plays stuff. So, it's funny. If you are telling me that you're only doing it, Headies is only nominating 99.9% Lagos people because the consumers. But you are the TV station. Do you understand? You are the one forming people's minds. In fact, the word is TV program.
Yeah.
The word program is not attached to TV program for nothing. It literally means that it can and probably is programming you. So if you decided, look, let's make it fair game, you will be surprised the amount of people that will break out from just letting the market be flat. But that's the thing, they won't do it. And it's sad because you call yourself an international or a national award, but you are only representing one state. Let me give you a disclaimer
about what I just said. And sometimes I've met with some of these TV executives, right? I don't know, maybe they are just trying to, but they will tell you they have no idea their guys are collecting money from artists.
Plausible deniability.
Because
how is it possible that you know but you don't know?
Yes, they will tell you, no. If anybody asks you to pay any money on this station, tell me, the person will be fired. But the truth is, your guys are doing it.
Can I say a thing? This in itself is again, you see how one nonsense thing permeates everything. We are just what you just described is a regular day in Buhari's office. Do you understand what I just did? Like literally, you get what I mean? You get
100.
You understand? So this
100.
You get what I mean?
That lady came out. Do you remember the lady? I think the Minister of Finance or something.
Yeah.
Where she is. She said we've disbursed 5.2 billion since COVID started, right? And she was so sure about it that the money was disbursed.
Yes, it's called disconnect. Fine, they can be corrupt, truly, or they can be playing foul. But even that, let's now bring it back to the media exec, because I just did that for a sec. The media exec may genuinely just believe in his or her mind that it's not being done, because the way power works here is that power knows all things. What it does not know dare not show up to it. Do you get what I mean? So if let's say a hip TV Oga says they don't collect payola, if anybody collects payola from you, tell me. He genuinely might know. Not know.
Yeah.
But I'm a leader. I have to know what's going on, because it makes no sense why people decide. Well, fine, yes, men are very loud, but it makes no sense why, in the grand scheme of things, a lot more people disagree with my actions. Do you get? For instance, taking said award to the US. I will shake my head for that one till I grow to 90 years. Because at the end of the day, somebody or some people think it's a great idea. So now I'm like, you say you don't know, Boga, it happen. Have you ever thought about finding out? You know, do fashola style, wear mufti and enter the road
and get the camera.
Do you understand? You know, like literally, oh, Jesus Christ. Oh Lord, you brought sharp object to this conversation. Well, I mean, literally, I always say that, look, let's not pretend like we don't know. You get what I mean? If they tell me, for instance, that, oh, VTech, in your studio, people used to come and record while you are not there.
Yeah.
And if anyone wants to record it, they will collect 1 million. I cannot say no. It's not possible. Then I go to bed. Because there must be something that provoked that conversation.
Yeah, true.
I'm just establishing that if such a person already has such a disillusion because he or she is actually disconnected from the running of things,
the place, yes,
it will touch everywhere else. For instance, maybe Hedis, Ayo, no one has sat him and said, oh God, do you know if you expanded this award to the rest of Nigeria, you would literally create an international award internally. Imagine people from the north traveling in troves just to come for this award because they are represented. You know, it's a business. So okay, let's say you have a partnership with a hotel, and okay, we're gonna give discounts to everybody that comes. You're already in business. So if this thing is about chasing money, you will still make money.
Ayo has gone to Atlanta.
Georgia.
Atlanta. Like that's the dumbest move I've ever seen in my life.
I watched that.
Seriously?
You see,
he took Eddie's to Atlanta.
I watched that Hedis and I was in pain. You know, it's weird. You know, one of the reasons why I can even talk about these things, is because as far as I'm concerned, in my business, this is one of the reasons why not being in people's faces has its benefits. You see, no one person can come and say, oh, I made VTech. So I'm not afraid to say, and I would say it to Ayo if I saw him, that, sir, I don't know where the thought process comes from, but here are things that, because see, some of us actually, I was up, even with these Hedis that was very weird, I was up till 2 a.m. watching it because I actually care that it exists.
I was actually in a couple of cities close to Atlanta, but
you get, because I'm like, this thing is
doesn't
not,
make any sense.
Maybe the idea is right from the beginning, and somewhere in the middle it gets mangled, and towards this, you know, the reality we have is just warped. And I can be real about it, like, Oga, see, if I tell you something that hurts your feelings, are you going to stop playing my song? Where's my song?
You don't have a song.
You understand what I mean? You get what I mean? So I'm not threatened. You're not going to put out, okay, oh, VTech, you know, maybe
stop playing.
I won't suffer, but you will benefit because clearly the people around you might not be so intelligent. And they might be, but just selfish. Because how does nobody think about this? You feel me? Like, I'm just highlighting.
My question was, are they doing it twice? They don't want to have one in the US and have another one in Nigeria. They said, no, everything is going to be in the US. I'm like, what's the purpose of that? Like,
where?
What's the goal?
And you know, funny enough, that question,
that's like the number one award show in this country.
Yes.
There's no competition. And
if they had done it right, it would have been one of the foremost awards in Africa. Because I've been to places where they talk about the Hedis. Do you get what I mean? But when they talk about it because they know it. They don't talk about it because they care. You get what I mean? So now you will say, wow, we are all over the world. But all over the world in what way? Who is really, like, everybody knows Hush Puppy. They don't like him, right? They may not like his person.
Yeah.
But if Hush Puppy is satisfied just with the fact that his name is on everyone's lips, he might actually be more shallow because he has lost the opportunity to really be the man. I don't know if what I said makes clear sense. Like, I mean, everybody knows VTech, but they know VTech for what VTech is great at. Not some know VTech just because their name when they call. Then let's say the other half know VTech because of his work. Everybody knows VTech because of his work. It's the same thing with the Hedis. If everyone thought about Hedis and thought, man, classy award, perfect show, no clumsy errors that we see all the time. Again, I've done events. I've done an event for myself. Funny enough, it was my wife that put it together. But in terms of the show flow, the structure, I was very, very prominent there. We've done a show from beginning to end. We had only one hiccup and nobody noticed because we knew what we were doing. But you are the headies, and then maybe on TV the power goes out, or there's this long wait, or maybe someone is saying, oh, I had to run from the back to get, there was one of the ladies that said, she even said it on stage, now they didn't do me right, yo. Do you get what I mean? And I asked myself, what's wrong? Because at the end, you're sitting in the room and you shake hands and say, yay.
The Anderson guy that was supposed to be the MC, I think it was the MC for the show.
That's Anthony Anderson,
yeah. And he got on the mic and he was like, "Did you say that?" He got
Where
on the
he
mic
was
and
saying most of the people didn't come.
You told me this kid is gonna be here. You told me David is gonna be here. Told me this is gonna be, and he was saying it on live TV. I was like, so you have to learn the hard way. So,
and that's the thing. I really hope they are learning, because honestly, I've been to one headies. I've only attended one, the one where Burner and Dami Crane were Rookie of the Year. Isn't it funny?
Oh, that's a long time.
Yeah, a long time ago. And I'm like, I saw the flaws. I don't do shows, but I know that this is simple now.
Yeah.
If you want to do something, timing. We did something, BLVD.
Yeah.
We had the screen package. There was no point where maybe we introduced track 1 and track 4 starts playing.
Yeah.
Do you understand? All those weird these are small things, and you guys are spending times 10 what we're spending times 100. You have the prestige, so whether or not it sucks, people are still going to show up. How about you do it right? Give it a deeper meaning. I think the headies should be a Nigerian award for Nigeria. Look at Afrima. Afrima has North African artists, South African artists, East African artists, West African artists, best meal. They break it down so that everyone is represented.
I think they're doing Ghana or South Africa this year.
Do you understand? They are all duly represented. Yeah. You get, and that's that's a continental award, but as a Nigerian award, you have to be Nigerian. You get what I mean? Yeah. Okay, please, who's hot in the north? I want to know. Abi, they'll bring Ali Nuhu. They'll tell you Ali Nuhu is big in the north.
Yeah.
Me, I don't know, because everybody in the west only sells what's in the west.
Isn't like you said, this whole ideology cut across everything we do in this country?
Yes. It's not even just entertainment. It's everything. Yeah. So we can, if we break out of the entertainment combo,
it's like Buhari saying he doesn't know there's corruption in the
exactly. Oga says he in his time there's been the best security, and he genuinely believes it, because I think he's a bit crazy, but it's also because he might genuinely believe it.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Okay, I know that most people who recognize Vitek recognize him as Vitek the Awesome, great producer, heavy achiever, low-key guy that does amazing things.
Yeah.
But I don't know for a fact. Do you get what I mean? I only know because I hear it.
Okay.
It's the ones I've heard that I'm like, okay, I've heard that one, I've heard that one. So now if everyone is telling me that, but then I go outside and everyone just carry face like, do you get? Then I begin to go, wait though, could it be that they are lying to me? So now I have
something wrong.
You get?
Yeah.
Now what our people do here is they're haters. Haters far away. But the truth is, if you go out 10 times with the perception that you're loved, and all you meet is prejudice, perhaps they don't love you. So you need to start asking the questions that will cause you to make a difference. That's where leadership, or as I call it, rulership, is very, very flawed here. You just said it before. Maybe we said it off air, where you were like parents, for instance, all those older gens, they feel like they know everything. You cannot teach them something new. It's the same thing that's happening in a smaller level in institutions. CEO is almighty. He says he's humble, but he's actually not, because at the end of the day, they are telling your guy, it don't make sense. You are pissed. Someone comes out and says it's a Yoruba award, then you try to flag them, but they are telling you the truth. Like, man, this thing on one side though. Everybody that is making you think that it is not one side is lying, because he works for them. If headies decided, okay, look, we're going to become, in fact, Hip TV decided they wanted to become a national channel for real, you see that gatekeeping thing will be very hard, because the guy in the West cannot be telling the guy in the North how to plug his music if the guy in the North has a stake too. So it is the guys in the North that will be like, here, out here, this is how we do our things. It's like a sovereign thing. It's like what the Americans do with their government. We are a country, but everybody has how they do their things. It will make the game balanced. It will make this thing more interesting. Funny enough, Afrima Award, there's a woman called Umu Sangari. She's from Mali. Now I found out about her. I watched Afrima and I saw her. I was like, Googled the song, loved the song, but I found out that said woman has won the Grammy twice. How did I find out? From the award. I have not found out anything from the Eddies, Sound City Award, any of them here, because it's the same thing I see that I see. You feel me? It's like they are not even using that opportunity to show you that this thing is diverse. They're like, come on, waiting to make them shout when we put the picture on screen and put that. And this is the thing, it might not even be the Oga. It might just be the people he has put in charge and has taken his eyes off them. Because at the end of the day, he might be seeing money, right? He might be seeing returns.
Yeah,
he might be seeing relevance. I think that's what the American thing is.
Yeah, I think that's what the American thing is about. I think it's money and all that.
Well, I mean,
didn't they give the best next rated a Bentley?
A Bentley.
Yeah, they gave. Yeah, it was Buju now.
Yes, Buju
got a Bentley.
Which is funny because I was like, first of all, you gave him a Bentley. That means there was money to get a Bentley. Or there was
No, I think Bentley sponsored.
So now there was sponsorship for Bentley. Just now, this is because the thing with this convo is this branch out. That in itself should tell anyone in the business why it's important that we give home relevance. Because you see, Bentley does not, and I say this with all respect, Bentley does not care about Africa. Because think about it, they've had how many
are they selling here?
You get how many headies have we done here? None of these people came and gave any customary or gift complimentary anything. Because at the end of the day, we are the cow right now with the biggest milk sack. So it just makes sense. And then we here see it like, they don't the answer also. Let's go make our money. I'm like, Oga, cool down for a sec. This thing is about conversion. Because at the end of the day, eventually we may not it's the truth, we may not be here, this same position forever, and then there will be an emptiness because none of it is converting to value here. For me, I feel like this last this was even when it needed to be in Africa.
Exactly how I feel too.
Do you get what I mean?
Like,
not in the US.
When the attention is here.
Do you get what I mean?
Not when everybody's paying attention to Afro hip hop.
So it's like
you're not taking it out. You're taking it away from the
home. Taking the eyes, and then what do? You take an amazing person like Osas and pair her with Anthony Anderson, who's an amazing host. He's done this 10,000 times over. First of all, he's a bigger brand.
Yeah,
he's a bigger brand. He's more experienced, and maybe not even invested. He's just doing work. With this chick that is from here, so she know how they go. I saw them on stage. You could tell that she was starstruck. She could not keep up, but it wasn't her fault because there was an imbalance. Now you bring an American host to host our award. What is he going to tell me? How is he going to communicate to me? It's just too much disconnect at one time, and everybody sees it.
100.
Do you get what I mean? Is it not the same host that was now like all the people? Basically, what he said, all the people driving Afrobeats
are not here.
Do you get what I mean? So now, what you did, which is why consultation and deep thinking is key, is up until that moment you felt like you were a genius. And then the person in the room now goes, the person that you are trying to impress or made you feel welcome now does you are not so smart after all. And then everybody just goes, hey, do you get me? Look at the amount of money. If these people because I remember having this issue when I saw the award abroad. I'm like, come on, man, why? One of my friends was like, I beg bone them, say that them sponsor and make them come. I said, that's what I'm trying to say. These guys saw the headies and sponsored the headies for the US. They could have sponsored it here.
They will do the same thing.
But you see, they don't care about us, but we care about us. So when the headies does that with its award, for instance, man, I've been talking about the headies so much. It's actually because I actually care about the headies.
Yes.
Do you get what I mean?
We should all care about it. It's a national treasure.
So
it's something all of us should actually appreciate. When you take
it outside.
I have one.
Oh,
I have two.
When you take it outside, not only are you perpetuating division, secondly, you are literally our forefathers when they gave them mirror. Again, Because when you think about it,
Yeah.
what was your motive?
Yeah.
If someone came to me now and said, Vitek, I want you to come to the US, I'll give you $1 million, leave Nigeria, stop doing Nigerian business. My first instinct is, wait, I'm from here. You saw me here, right? You know what? Bring the value here. You see that money you want to use to buy Bentley, bring it here. We'll get another car. You see that money? We will use it to make sure all the A-listers are here.
Okay.
We are going to sell this event to Africa. Do you get me? We're going to do a festival 3 days long, so that by the third day, the whole world is like, do you get? Let's give you a show. Now you went abroad, the hall wasn't full. Do you get me? So it's like, we can do, and they are the easiest ones to talk about because, in fairness to them, they keep on trying. But it's like you said, doing the same thing the same way over and over. At some point, you gotta stop. And this applies for everything. It applies for professionalism. Something as simple as the tag thing, for instance. That's how we got here. These convos touch on everything because there's a mindset that exists that can be improved.
How would you compare the whole Eddie's thing to your Grammy experience?
It's not the same. In fact, I will even talk about there's one award that till this day I think they are doing a great thing, and that's the Beats Award. They are doing awards for professionals. You get like mixing engineers, writers. I've spoken to the CEO a few times. I genuinely support what they do because they are trying to force people to look away from the bedazzling of the artist and the song. They're like, there are people doing this. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So now I had like one or two like indifferences, or I wouldn't say issues. There were just things that happened between me and them that kind of made me step back because when it happened, what it gave me a vibe of is that are they catching the bug that all these other people have? These guys were straight up nominating anyone that could do the work, and they were doing it nice. But personally, I had things with them that I was like, I didn't really. I was like,
the Beats Award, is it a Nigerian award?
Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah?
And I promise you, regardless of what I'm saying, I think people should be behind them because this is our award. Do you get what I mean? I got nominated, I think, twice. I didn't win, and the people that won, according to everybody else, was very questionable because I had like some big entries. But that's by the way. It was some things that happened along the line, you know. I'm protecting them in this sense, so I won't say what it was.
Okay.
But it made me log out. Now here's the interesting thing: the last time I semi got nominated, you know, we had an issue, tried to fix, whatnot. It didn't really pan out the way. Then I won a Grammy. The Grammy is my first award. Yes. So now put it in perspective. I've been around since 2014. The closest I got to, no, actually I've been around since 2007. My first break was 2014.
Yeah.
You would say 2013, but Psquare never gave me credit for personally. Yes.
You mixed that.
I produced.
You produced personally.
Yes.
Jesus.
But
Christ.
then that one is by the way, right?
Are you freaking? I need to go through your list.
So hold on. 2014. Okay, fine. I got all this credit, right? So I get nominated for Afrima. That was the closest. Again, that same year, this dude produced most of the project. I think there was only like 2 songs in the album I didn't mix. So this was Psquare, almighty Psquare. This young unknown dude, you know, kills it. There's Shekini. Shekini was big. Yeah, they said that was the first time they performed in North Africa because of that song.
Yeah, Shekini is.
Most of our guys are saying they don't travel to this place because these guys don't care about us. But that song forced them to go, man, we need to bring those Nigerians here. Think about that was like a milestone. Shekini was my production, right? I also wrote Shekini. I think with the exception of the second verse, I wrote Shekini. My vocals are on Shekini. The chorus of Shekini is me. Wow. That one's by the way. In 2014, there was also the song with T.I. Ejajo, the one with T.I.
Yeah.
There was the one with Awilo. All these songs were doing buzz in different places at different times. Yeah. I mean, I had someone from Uganda say the one with Awilo was #1 for almost like maybe 3 months. That year, there was a heady I wasn't nominated for. Now, let's talk about one just very quickly. Remember I talked about that whole education is the corridor.
Yeah.
But out here, when you get to the end of the corridor, instead of seeing what they told you is at the end, you see what you came from. It's like the corridor is going
Round.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. Because I'm like, man, they told you if you do the work, if you put in the best, if you do it, if you do it on a level, you will get placement. And then I get out there and these guys are like, you feel me? I'm like, this is abnormal. Then I get nominated by Afrima. So I'm like, Africa recognized me, but Nigeria did not. Do you now see where years down the line, certain things didn't matter to me, like trying to make these people know who I was, because I'm like, y'all don't even really know. And I don't know if you really care. You feel me?
And Grammy nominated you and you won.
Do you understand? So now,
and Nigeria still yet to.
So here's the weirdest thing.
Oh my God.
Back to the Beats Award, yeah. One of the categories I was nominated was Mixing and Mastering Engineer of the Year. For I think I was nominated then. I can't remember it because it's been a while. Here's the interesting thing: I was nominated. I had an issue with one of the nominations they gave me because there was a little error, and I felt like they didn't deal with it the right way. Okay. And even if everyone just moved on, but I just felt very, very slighted because I've come from this being looked over by, in quotes, the powers that be, right?
Yes.
And then boom, Grammy lands on my lap. I get a Grammy for producer on the project. I get a Grammy for mixing and mastering on the project. First award on my table. Do you understand? So it's like everything still came full circle to a point where I'm like, do I really need to impress these people? You feel me? Because I would love.
Now I get you.
Do you get what I mean?
Get you 100.
So if you go back to the conversation of why I don't put tags, why I'm not out there much, really, I'm like, there's a way they want us to play ball. I can't play that ball because I play on a different field. But because it is not a fair game, they go, if you are not here, you are your own. They are not like, if you are not here, you are here. We are in the both places.
Yeah,
I've said it. The year Simi packed Headies. I think she won 5 Headies, including Female Artist of the Year. She was in Artist of the Year. She won Songwriter of the Year. Like 5 of them. They didn't nominate any of the producers on that album. I produced Owambe, by the way. There were 2 records on that album that were huge. Jeremy, which was produced by Oscar, and Owambe.
Yeah.
I remember speaking to one of the execs of the label, and they said when Owambe came out, by the Ember, they probably had made all the money they had spent on her. From just because now Owambe was carrying, she wasn't just going for shows, Rhythm on Floor. You know what? She was going for weddings. Parties, she was going to parties. There are people that are throwing more money on the low than they are throwing at the so-called big artists. Hence the reason why the Fuji guys, the Juju guys, they are not even following us here to form international, the tour dates. They know they do them because they are fine. You get me?
They're all right.
So at the end of the day, they nominate her. 5 categories. They didn't nominate one of the producers. So now when they will do the montage, they will play one of the songs produced by someone. The year that she was Artist of the Year, a producer should have been there too. This is Headies I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I didn't even watch Sound City Award. And I'm like, these things were, when we started, these were the things that, when you get that recognition, man, you can beat your chest. Now the world knows. And then the people are doing like, and you're like, this is not right. This is warped.
Yeah, but isn't it crazy that in as much as you now have that recognition, from the biggest stage in the world, right? You still didn't make noise about it. So
now
I think there's something about you.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. With because like I said, media is Bible. It now costs money, in quotes, to make noise. So me, I'm like, okay, I'll reach out to the ones that can. I mean, if you Google it, you'll see VTech. You'll see a lot of, I got love from the Guardian. I got love from some major news outlets. I work with a really great PR guy. His name is Malaki. He's really good. He's legit. I would recommend him to anyone. I know people, but he is very legit. He makes sure that, look, this is not about the money. It's about actually getting what you duly deserve. But this is now twice the stress because an OAP is not on the radio station thinking, man, I need to do something about all the people that have won the Grammys. They are in the station thinking more, this one they do party, make I just finish work, let me go and dress up, man. You get what I mean? Which artists? You know those things. Their mind is shifted from actually giving due credit. So now I more or less have to pay for you to know what I've done that is actually so impressive that you should talk about it. You feel me? So the like I said, being low-key is not like I'm doing it. I'm not running from it, but I am like a Pharrell, for lack of a better word. We do the work. The work speaks. And the world speaks about the work. But here, you do the work speaks. But the people that force the conversation, they come to you, maybe one-on-one, and just shake your hands. But they don't put it out there, because at the end of the day, this thing can be bought. Somebody might have put a spot. So now they cannot, even if they want to. And over time, you have a generation now that's just dumb. They don't know.
I was saying it that if we are not careful, right? I'm not trying to discourage anyone. I'm just saying, if you're not careful, we might end up having the same issues we had with Buhari 8 years ago. Now, again, because it seems everybody just run through one direction. Nobody's asking questions. Nobody is actually challenging these authorities that are more. We've done this thing the same years. Once somebody came out with some level of sympathy,
It's interesting. I like how you swinged this way, or you swung this way. That's the actual word. You swung this way.
Everybody just.
It's a behavior we have. That's the same thing with the politics. Good thing that you even mentioned the political space, because I'm of the mindset that, if we are truly going to change, like you said, you can't do the same thing the same way all the time. We cannot keep playing the same bets. It's like throwing money into Chelsea to play 2.5. The key, like I think your ticket is gone. Then the next time they play again, put 2.5. You put 2.5. You keep betting that same game. Now you lose $1 million and you win 100K. You didn't win. At best, you recovered 100K. Okay. That's the same thing with the political space, because now I see what's happened now. You just moved there. It's the same thing.
Because it's across the board.
Yes. It touches everything. It's the same thing with the music. All these things I'm saying, there are people that will walk in the room. I've been, and let me just say this, and then we can move to that subject. I actually have been to a radio station to meet with one of the programmers. Great dude. He really wanted to support. Now I walk into the room, and then I see this lady that I know that's very rich. I dare say wealthy. And this is a boss. So when she came to that station, I know she didn't come to shake hands. And this is the thing, we were in the waiting room waiting. The moment she came in, she just talked to the receptionist. Receptionist made a call. Someone just ran out. Sorry, yes, mama, come in.
Yeah.
Now, while we were still sitting waiting, another guy came, pot belly, t-shirts, those chairmen. Maybe he's a trader. He just wants to support this. Then a skinny guy beside him with a hamper that had the artist's picture
and the CD.
Do you understand? I'm like
sitting down, they were attending to them.
Do you get what I mean? So even if we sit here and talk about how, guys, we should take the power back, most people are still going to be like, see, all I want is my selfish interest accomplished. You are just talking. Some will say, oh, it's because you don't have money, which is not true. But there is a right way. And we are very abnormal here. We're very abnormal people. Very abnormal. So it's like, look, just make it. Look, there's left, there's right. Let's not all do right. If it's not right, left is dead. No, left exists. And there has to be someone in between that is non-partisan. That is like, hey, whatever. As far as it gets to me, that's what the media was supposed to be. As long as it gets to me.
But they are never like that, Sha, on any ground. Even outside here, the media is always this bunch of biased people.
I think here they are like, it's on steroids, man. Here it's different.
It's different.
It's worse than everywhere else. I dare say. I don't know about Yankee. I don't know about Spain or France or whatever, but I still insist here.
I think,
these things that we are saying now, there's a lot of people that can't. Even the people that have an opinion are now affected by this system. So everyone is like, And I'm like, yo, you gotta be real. You get, okay, case and study. My wife has a project out. She's been an amazing musician for years.
Yeah, I know.
But now she's put out a project, right? I know what it costs to plug the music. You get what I mean?
When I was talking to her, do you know what I told her? I said, see, I'm going to tell you just one thing. I said, listen, it's a global village. There's a reason why they call it a global village. Don't put all your eggs in Nigeria.
One Nigerian basket.
In Nigerian basket will eat your egg and you won't see your money. You won't make nothing out of it. Just make sure you tap out as much as you can. That's what the only thing. Because she said, "What about the music?" I said, "The whole songs are fantastic. I don't have any comment about the music. They are good, but I'm worried about the marketing."
Yeah.
Right? I'm worried about that part of it.
Yeah.
At this point, don't even. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you not to even send Nigerian market at all. Just keep tapping out. Because now, bro, your Grammy is not from any Nigerian artist you produced.
True. And man, I must be honest though, having that really opens doors, especially for a person like me, because when you check, you don't see, oh, he won it by chance. You check and you see that, oh, this dude has been doing amazing for so long. This is almost like it's not the end. It's just like a good stamp. So you can highlight this moment among many great moments. You know, so I mean, it is what it is out here, and pertaining to that one-way movement thing, you know, it's really just one of the problems we've always had. You know, I was giving that analogy about Kenny's, how they became the one place, whereas it used to be a lot of people, and that has affected us till this day. Where more, like you said, gatekeepers. So you must go through, you must be that way, you must do like this, you must talk like this, you must act like this, your jams must sound like this, your swag must be like this. And if you cannot follow them and overtake, just stay there, just stay back. Oh yeah, at the back of the queue, shout your hair. And then a person like me comes along, I'm like, guys, do you know how empty the left is? And they're like, I bet Gary.
I'm telling you.
You know,
what would you, if you had to sign on someone now, or let me not go to the direction. What would you advise any new up and coming talent now who wants to do music right now when it comes to, you know, production, distribution, and marketing? You being somebody who have experienced it in and out of the country, what do you think is the best direction for them to go through now?
Best direction, I mean, first of all, music is a lifestyle that brings money. That's how I see creativity. It's a lifestyle that brings revenue, that brings relevance. So if you treat it like that, you think like that. For instance, I would use Wifey's project, or as her name is Fumi Arewa. So people hear this to know who she is.
Yeah, Arewa's project.
Wifey. Her name is not Wifey. You get so
a great project, by the way.
Amazing, like
amazing project.
She has a song called Eleni. It's like high life. It's high life. It's not like
track 6.
Yes,
I love it.
I think you talked about it.
Love it.
You see that track now? That track, I'm hearing that track and I'm thinking, this song is for Isale. This song is for Iya Mojisola of so Kingdom doing a party somewhere. That audience is different from Dawn. Dawn is the one that was big. We made it like World Cup type music. That song now, I'm praying that by God's grace we can get it the kind of placements where Africa's Nations Cup she's opening. You know, Commonwealth something she's opening. The World Cup she's opening. Her song will be like, when I grow older, I will be stronger. That's the idea. So when it comes to music, I always tell people, don't promote generic. Promote strategically, right? Elenio is going down a different road from Dawn, but when they all get out, they touch each other, you know. So what will happen is this one can be like, she can be hammering from here, this side she can be hammering. It's not
so the whole idea is you should be strategic even from your recording. From day one.
Yes.
You have to be strategic.
Yes,
you have to know this song, this is the target.
So nobody will come and tell you, give me 10 million, I'll plug you. You get, imagine you plugged Elenium, for instance, High Life, to the people that, if it's not Thames, if it's not Arasta, it's not good music. You've wasted money. So now they'll tell you, we spent money. I'm like, yes, but you were not strategic. Maggie, I have never seen a YouTube ad of Maggie, but I've seen plenty YouTube ads of the banks, because the banks understand. And here's the thing, the banks are advertising to those market women. That's why they said a said bank is full of market women. You get the said bank, I don't want to say their name. Said bank is basically the Chelsea of banks. Agbero have bank account. A shop of description.
I know, of course, yes.
So now these guys understand. Look, we are aiming here, we are aiming there. But check investments. You will see that there are more here than here.
Yeah.
I have never seen a Dudu Osun ad. I have never seen a Maggie ad. Never on TV. But they had a show. Is it Shoko Yokoto? One show like that. We used to watch it back in the day. They knew that the people that we are aiming at they watch AIT.
Yeah, let's just program them.
Do you understand? So what's different with music? Oh, I want to be known all over the world. This flavor not traveling all over the world. But by all standards, they'll say it's an Igbo artist. Do you get what I mean? So it's like you cannot cheat this thing. Know what you are selling.
Strategically.
Even your brand. You get what I mean? Unless you have an Olamide that can just throw money at it, and of course with the right material you get exposure, and you'll be really big. Like Ashake for real deserves what he's getting, in my opinion. He's local, but then he's one in many. That opportunity is not applicable for all of them. But there's more.
I think that's the best way to
describe
it. It's one in many.
Yeah, there's more Ashake on the streets doing fine.
Plenty.
Than the one that you're seeing in Ohio, wherever he may be right now. So clarity when you are doing your music is important.
But then again, it seems like when you look at a sound like Ashake sounds, right? So you now even feel like, okay, maybe those local content can even move on their own without you considering the kind of lyrics or the kind of sound, because Ashake is 100 local.
Yes.
Right? And it's still breaking those markets. I don't think it's going to break as much as Burna, because of the audience. But I think he's not doing bad.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? I think Nice has that space before now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, Nice has that space before now. But Ashake is really, really... But at the same time, if you now look at the target audience and compare with Burna's audience, right? Maybe 40% out of Burna can tap into it. But I don't think 100 can tap into it.
So now, that's why shout out to Olamide for actually giving playing field. Because this same Olamide signed Fireboy. Fireboy is nothing like Ashake. But Olamide's mind was not so myopic that he had to sign another Fireboy. He saw Ashake totally different. Totally different from Kunle Gold. And he's like, we can sell this. So now, when you have all these guys, because now what they are doing is they are doing music for rich kids. That's what we call it. Like the music that we see that is considered mainstream is actually rich kid music. When you really look at it, it doesn't reflect us at all. Yes. At all. In fact, I make a bold prediction. If there's anybody that can get a Grammy nomination now, it will be Ashake. Because one, his sound is indigenous, and for international awards, those things are important. It's not just about vibes and good tunes and the one that was big that Drake was vibing to. No, what is the content? If we nominate you for world album, but you sound American, that's inconsistent. It will surprise people, and they will now attribute it to Olamide. But the truth is, maybe they did it without knowing, but that indigenous nature of his music gives him a huge edge. Will he be like Burna Boy? We don't know, but it doesn't have to be. Pasuma is not like Ashake. Do you get what I mean?
But
Shanko Rashid is not Arasta.
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
They're all fine.
Okay, so now, here's my point. The track 6 on Arewa's album, on the EP, right? What's the title of the song again? Elenio, right? Why can't we plug Elenio to that market?
Okay, so now, here's what I think. It's possible, yeah? But if you remember during the time of Fela and Sunny Ade, when they were buzzing, they too were doing all these arenas, by the way. So all our boys today are just first to do. You had to see yourself. Omosagari had 2 Grammys before most of us even really knew what the Grammy was. All these great men, they were traveling, performing the Yoruba songs, the Igbo songs, whatever they were performing, right? But you see now, the world got reintroduced to us again only through Wizkid and Burna, who have a certain sound. And I say this authoritatively. That's why a lot of people don't get placements in playlists on all these DSPs, because these DSP guys are white. Most of them are Black Americans. They don't know they cannot pick your stuff like you. Do you get what I mean? So at the end of the day, Elenium can sell there. It would be an exotic material, but as a businessman, if I did, it's like Flavor did Levels. He's not going to be promoting Levels in Spain because he's speaking Igbo. Now, because it's big in the East, he has done numbers. Igbo people are everywhere. So now there will still be a demand for him. Again, it might not be Burna big, but if Burna is making 100 million and I'm making 20 million, we're both making money.
You're good.
Do you get what I mean? It's funny. Umu Sangare speaks Mali. I don't know what Malians speak. She has 2 Grammys. She didn't win it for speaking English. I'm just saying that Elenium can work. However, I'm just real with it. Look, Chike did music that touched into that realm where Flavor was a god. Still is a god. So now he's always at weddings. He's always at private parties. He's always... That dude is making money more than some of the mainstream guys.
Artists,
Guys will get 200 streams. They will buy a house. I'm like, Oga, remove the label. Most of you guys will crumble. But you see, this dude knew. I don't know whether they did it intentionally, but it's like, this is a working stream. You get what I mean? And you see, now I get all this money from here. Then I can come and meet you there. Because that place, they also respond to money.
Yeah.
Here, if they like you, they really like you.
Sure.
You know, and because you promote generally, these people here are like, oh, this person is larger than life. So they are willing to pay you the value that these people might even argue.
Yes.
So you see, it's like these thoughts really, you need a person or people that are thinking like this when you do your music so that you don't stress yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm doing Galala, of which all those type of genres are behind now, but if I'm doing that type of music, I would be looking for opportunities in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
You know, I would not be trying to get into France.
Yeah. I believe Timaya still sell out Caribbean until tomorrow.
Do you understand?
Based on those sound,
it's just being practical. And why I used all the banks and like a Maggie, for instance, these guys spend top dollar or top naira to do these surveys and decide, okay, this is where we put our strength. But musicians don't do it. Most musicians just want greatness. But it's a pattern. Abby, look at me here. I plan to put out a project next year. And it will be mad because, of course, I know my music, right? But look at the amount of years I've been behind the scene, building something. So now, even when I put out my music, I'm not hoping if my music does not become top everywhere, I'm still fine. So I've built a foundation. That's what it should be like, especially if you're a new artist.
Yeah.
Foundation, key.
Even the old ones, because I told you I have a project that I want to drop and I took my time and I told my guys, I'm like, see, I'm not desperate. I told them I'm not desperate. I'm not going to run after anybody's office just because I want you to live it. But what I'll make sure I do is I put out good music, put a substantial amount of money behind it for marketing. Anywhere it goes, let it go. But I'll just do what I'm expected of to do. But I'm not running over anybody to say, you have to do this for me. You have to do As a matter of fact, I called the EP for the love of music. For you to know that I'm just doing it for the love. Not because I'm looking for fame or I want
something you're pursuing that
It has gotten to that point where I felt like...
And it's wisdom because... I mean, now, thankfully, the market has grown. So, look at Wifey, for instance. She put out an EP on the 26th of this last month. And the single we dropped in August, ending of August, I think it has on Boomplay about 4,000 plus streams. Now, 4,000 for some people these days that are doing 1 million, 2 million, it sounds like little, but that's 4,000 people that heard the song. We didn't shove it down their throats. In fact, while I was on my way here, Boomplay recommended her song to me. You know how it goes, highly recommended, listen to so and so by so click to play. So I'm imagining that there are people all over the place seeing this. You know, would I like to just pay people to make it look bigger? Maybe. But the fact is, I don't even have the luxury of doing that. I want to see it really grow.
Yeah.
You feel me?
You should be able to track everything organically, right?
As much as possible. And see, 10 people that love you is better than
1 million that's fake.
You get, but hey, you can't tell it to most people because they will tell you, oh, it's all about the numbers. One of my favorite artists that I've worked with for years, we had a similar convo. Now, I'm not in the position to tell that person what to do with their career, but I remember saying it to her. I'll say her. And if she hears it, she will know. I said, look, your new stuff is dope, but it's so far from you. Now, she said, oh, you know, she outgrew da. I'm like, yeah, I respect it, but the truth is, it's literally, if it's not broke, don't fix. Because Adele will still go and do Hello. I'm even surprised she has not done High or like a variant of the same thing. Do you get me?
Yeah.
But there is a consistency in what worked. And then you slowly reintroduce or you introduce the people to something new. It shouldn't be a drastic change. And I remember I used one song. I was like, okay, look at this song now. It shook like people, it affected the people. And then she said something that basically silenced me. She said it didn't really do much numbers. And then I went, okay.
It's insane, Baba. It's insane because at the same time, now it seems like numbers are the new currencies, you know? Your number on IG, your number on YouTube, your Spotify listeners, your these things, that's what the corporate bodies will put together to even offer you a deal in the first place.
Because foreign people don't know. That's what I'm saying. They don't know. For instance, Head is going to the US. They could have picked any other award, but they went to the Headies and said, we'll sponsor you because the Headies actually does have the numbers. It has the clout. It has the value. It's not even clout. They are really the top tier.
Yeah.
You understand? So these people out there don't see growth potential. They just see cow.
To milk.
Do you understand? Yeah. So at the end of the day, if I talk to somebody from Universal, if my artist's song is 1 million streams, whether I bought 900,000, to them, I'm doing numbers. They are not going to come to Nigeria and do survey. Okay, do people really give an ish? If we promote this person's music, will it affect the home front? And because these foreign people exercise a superhuman power, they feel like, we don't even need you guys. We know how to sell you that you now become really bigger and then your people will still dig. But you see, that is not entirely true. You know, because a lot of musicians today, and I can't remember who said this, but he said, hopefully, we'll not end up doing GoFundMe accounts for a lot of musicians of today. And when he said that, it was profound because today is not like yesterday. Yesterday, there was money in the business. But you see, now there is money. But you see, because a lot of people are living a lie, what's going to happen is when all the covering comes off, you just see a small man that actually is not as big as he said he was. He's not as famous as he said he was. Doesn't have the same brand value. All those international people, they're like, milk this one, move on. And then it will now be a case where they came back home. But now they didn't do anything for home or through home. So home is like, nice one, go to the back of the line. And that is where problem comes, because it'd be scary to see a musician that's doing 2 million streams today start doing 5,000, 10,000, and they'll be like, oh, he or she fell off. They didn't fall off. There was just a lot of power behind it, propping it. Because the power saw you as a cow. Milk, skinny cow, go. And it's a reality. That's why people like me, we are not in a race for anyone. I just want to wake up and accomplish the things that I want to accomplish. You know, I'm not trying to top nobody.
Man, Tech, too much sense, man. Too much sense.
I hope I've not taken too much time.
No. I like to go. I don't have time constraint. That is why I own my podcast.
Okay.
I don't have 30 minutes limit on IP TV.
Lord.
But
I love IP TV. I must be
honest.
love
IP TV too.
Because the amount of headies whipping we've done here, man.
But it's necessary. It is necessary.
Because here's the thing.
It is necessary.
We get whipped too. People have told me what they think about me. A lot of it's lost life.
IP TV used to whip me well anyway.
So it's fair game.
So it's normal. But I know that Ayo doesn't do anything just for doing sake. All right, I'm sure there are some things behind that American move, but what we're saying as your big fan and people that have been part of this movement from day one is we think it's not the best move. Bring it back home.
Yeah,
it's ours. Don't take it
I
out.
don't think what I think what
that's,
it is.
that's just the basic.
Sometimes they forget there are people that actually aspire to what you created.
Yeah.
It's like a kid. You know how they say you don't meet your celebrities, your favorite celebrities. It's a bad thing because imagine I'm excited to meet Jobless, and then I meet Jobless, and his actions, without actually directly doing them to me, shatter what I believed and what I hope of. Shatters it all.
It happens all the time.
You have just gone your way, but you've destroyed something. That's what happens when people like the Headies, the Sound City Awards, some of the other awards that I don't know, even the Beat Award. When you do certain things, you imagine a person like me who has been in existence before the Beat Award, feeling shattered by something they did, because I connected to it. I am not going to be on IG constantly doing TikTok videos. So that relevance you want, you find it elsewhere. But there are core people that care.
Yeah.
And when you lose them, eventually it will come full circle.
100. Man, thank you, boss. It's wonderful talking to you. And I would love to do it over and over and over again. I'm not... the last pod I had Kabasa. It's the second time I'm having him on the show, and I'm still going to have him before the end of this year because too much sauce to tap into, and he's just somebody like you. I don't know. I think it's a producer thing, right? I think most producers are smart. Okay, there are a few dumb ones I know.
Yeah, actually, dumb people are plenty, especially now because a lot of people don't. I just pictured myself talking to a today artist and going, "Where do you draw from? Where do you draw from? What's your muse? What's your, I don't expect them to be telling me of Chris Okoro or Nelson Brown or all those guys from old. But I mean, you would know a person that's deeper than just the talent God gave him. You know, most guys now are just vibes and Fruity Loop.
Yes.
And Logic.
Yeah. You're right. Many of them, they really don't have the substance. They could make bit. But when it comes to what the substance is,
and longevity always reveals everything. Yeah, longevity reveals everything. So if today enjoy, tomorrow you answer the questions you did not answer now. Hopefully you'll be able to make it in quotes recovery then.
Yeah, Papa, let's give them your social media handle.
Okay, so for those of you who want to hear me, whatever I did here today, it's at VTech the Awesome.
VTech the Awesome.
Yeah, VTEK.
IG.
Once you write VTEK on IG, first guy that pops up.
Yeah.
VTEK, the VTEK DAWESOME. VTech D Awesome.
Awesome. Okay.
Twitter, IG, even Facebook self. You write VTech, it will pop up. I think I've blown to that level.
Yeah, of course you have.
Yes. So
and Arewa's EP. Where can people listen to it?
Basically everywhere. I mean her handle is I am the Arewa.
I'm bringing her on the show though. I'm looking for a good
time
to bring her on the show.
So I mean,
she's awesome.
It's on Apple Music. It's on Spotify. She's doing quite well.
What's the title of the EP?
Dawn.
Like
Dawn,
like
daybreak, like dawn.
Yeah.
It's doing amazing numbers. I mean, I besides being a husband, I'm also very honored that I could work with her because when I first met her, I met her as friend that used to sing.
Yeah, she told me.
And I really believed in her stuff. You get it wasn't okay, man, who do I want to show myself as an industry head? Nah, man. It was just in fact, the guy that had business with her before, I told him that I know what to do with her musically. This was before we now grew into what we are now. Wow. I imagine telling a multi-millionaire that the artist you have, I don't think you know what to do with that.
The value.
Do you get me? And this is me that now we're working moving the motion, trying to make things blow up, become bigger. And I'm proud that I get to do that because it's something I believe in.
And bro, I'm so proud of you. I'm very much more proud of her.
Yeah,
Because I saw the growth, from those days to what she is now, and it's awesome. And I give you all the credit. Like,
thank you.
You got it. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
This was a pleasure, man.
Hope to have you again.
Unleashing me is a problem. Unleashing me is a problem.
It's a problem. No, but you're here now. You're right there.
They escaped hearing my opinion about Peter Obi. They escaped it.
But,
you people would have
they will come for you.
Sent firing squad 1 million match to my compound.
They will come for you. That Peter Obi issue, Baba, that Peter Obi issue is very, very sensitive.
Oh man,
it's case sensitive. It's something that you want to touch, but you want to make sure. But one thing I tell people is just make sure you're not making the same mistake you made 8 years ago.
I'm with you. I think I'll just summarize what I think.
Yeah.
Let it be a fair ground. Let us stop doing Moses and the Israelites. Let us stop doing.
Stop getting emotional. No.
See, everybody is good at their work. Heck, Buhari was a military. This is a military general. He has some level of intelligence that got him to that level. So he's not a dumb person. He's just probably not good at leadership. You get what I mean? So I mean, it's the same thing here. I feel like, guys, this coming period, let's look at everybody. Yes, we all ruled out. I've said here, I'm anti-Tinubu. I can do a tattoo of Tinubu and put a red X because we have data to back it up.
To show it. Yeah.
Now with Peter Obi, we just know he was the governor of Anambra.
Yeah.
You feel me? And he did well. Some said, but my own is, as far as you came from that time, we are still looking to them to solve the problem that they created. Whether you were indirectly or directly involved. You were in the room. You feel me? So I encourage people, keep an open mind. There are other people running that we are not even looking at all, because we decided that
it's between these three.
And crowd mentality, once 10,000 people are shouting, another 10 will join, another 10 will join, now the rest people will join. Ask most of these people, why do you support Peter Obi? They can't tell you. I watched interviews of his. I sat down for hours just watching him, and then I understood that, okay, by his words and his achievements and the person he is, he's very credible. But it's an election, it's not a selection. So the other candidates should be able to come and say, okay, why you guys are excited about this person? Hey, check me out. But now nobody 1 year. And that's unfair. That's unfair. And we are the unfairness here. But nobody wants to say it because they decided among them. It's like coming out and saying, Whiskey, no absence. Whiskey FC will destroy teams. Because it's like, why you even talk about how dare you? But maybe I might have a reason for saying this one. So I agree with you. People should let's not do the same thing again. In fact, if you love someone, step back and let them prove themselves.
Yes. Exactly my point.
Not, oh Jesus, we love you, and man, finally some people are pushing because of the East. Oh man, Igbo man, finally. I'm like, oh God, if we're talking like that, we're entering this place again. Let's just be careful, Sha.
I think that's the best way to wrap this up. You just killed it, and on the fair ground. Thank you, everybody. See you next time. Bye.
Being big is more important than being famous. If the Grammy worked the way Nigeria worked, I wouldn't win it. Then I get nominated by Africa, so I'm like, Africa recognized me, but Nigeria did not. The Grammy is my first award. If there's anybody that can get a Grammy nomination now, it will be Ashake.
My name is Jobless.